Hello everyone, have you heard about the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show, an amazing podcast with sports stars, entertainment celebrities, and other great guests? Somebody, one host who has no legs, one host who lives in Duluth, Minnesota, and another host in Minnesota who can never be found. These guys get amazing guests and topics that no other show can provide, exclusively on your home TV and now the Roku app. That's the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show. Check us out, America.
Hi again, everybody. Dave Stevens coming to you from the home offices here in Bristol, Connecticut for another edition of the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show. What an amazing weekend. I had just had the experience of getting together with 450 former ESPN employees. An amazing night. We all got together, shared stories. Chris Berman, George Grande, all kinds of great people there. We'll have some interviews from that later in the show, but I want to throw it out to Nashville where Troy Geary, Will Steiner out there. A great victory for the Vikings today. Troy, tell us about that game.
Thanks, Dave. We're back here in front of Nissan Stadium where the Vikings just wrapped up win number 8, 23-13 over the Tennessee Titans. The people here in Tennessee have been real hospitable. Broadway, I mean, if you haven't been here, you have to get here. Great people, great food, great atmosphere, and the Vikings leave here happy. A lot of fans here at the game. Talk about that, Will. I looked around. There was probably, I would say, 70% purple.
Hey, it seemed like a second home game here for us. There was quite a few home fans I saw. I was just looking around, and there was I would say at least 60-40, and we just travel really well, and I'm really thankful to be a part of this fan base that travels really well, and I've met a lot of great people through this fan base, and I look forward to meeting many more through this fan base, and let's have some more fun in the 2024 season as we continue our progressions. We got one more road game, and then we're back at home for 3.
Yeah, and speaking of people here, I ran into Jared Allen, and he says, hey, look, it's Austin Powers. So, hey, man, he even recognized me, so that was pretty cool. Now, let's talk about the Chicago Bears next game, next week, next Sunday. Bears had a fall to the Green Bay today on a blocked field goal, and they're 5-6 now, Will?
4-6.
4-6. So the Vikings defense, how do you think they're going to go up against Caleb Williams? He's been struggling in the last couple of weeks.
So from what I've seen, I think they're going to blitz Caleb a little bit because obviously rookie quarterbacks still need to develop that pocket presence. I believe that we're going to mix up and disguise coverages against Caleb, make him confused a little bit, and hopefully we can confuse him enough to walk away with Chicago with the win. We've seemed to struggle with Chicago at Soldier Field in the past, and hopefully we can get over that hump again.
Okay, Vikings again win 23-13 to prove 8-2. I might do a Trump dance just for fun, but yeah, we're on to Chicago, and follow us all season long. We're going to be in New Orleans. That's gearing up. Super Bowl 59. Follow us all the way up until for the playoffs through the Super Bowl. That's going to be a great time. Will, what are your thoughts about 70 days out from Super Bowl 59?
Well, I know it's going to be a lot warmer in New Orleans than it is in Minnesota. So one thing for sure, I'm bringing my golf clubs, and I'm going to party in the Big Easy and hang out with a lot of fans and friends and colleagues from the National Football League. I look forward to seeing everybody who comes to New Orleans, from colleagues to friends to coaches to players. Super Bowl is just a great week overall, and I look forward to spending it with everybody, including my co-hosts here with the show and everybody who follows us on social media and podcast platforms.
All right, Will, you better not be hoarding the beads. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the Vikings had that big game against the Bears, and if you didn't hear about it, in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, they finally lost. They lost to the Bills, so there are no more unbeatens, and it is still a wide-open race to get to the Super Bowl and New Orleans. So stick with us. We'll have more from Troy and Will at that wonderful Vikings game. We'll hear from some of the players and the coaches. And also, I'll show you a little bit of what happened at that ESPN reunion that took place this weekend. And we'll hear from the legendary George Grande, the very first ESPN anchor. Stick with us. You're watching Geary, Stein and Stevens.
Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events wants you to come party with us. We're bringing the fun to the Houston Bay Area. Stay tuned for all of our incredible events throughout the year, featuring amazing food and drinks, live entertainment, special guests, and so much more. Fun, new, different. Serendipity Yacht Cruises and Events is where you want to be. So come party with us. It's more than a yacht. It's serendipity.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Melissa, and together we started Fresh Clean Threads.
For most of my life, I've worn a black t-shirt, and most were either too short, too baggy, or weren't consistent. Like most guys with a problem, I turned to my wife for help.
From our San Diego condo, using my years of apparel experience, we set out to make the world's best fitting t-shirt.
Since day one, our Fresh Clean tees were made to offer a flattering fit for all body types, be ridiculously soft and comfortable, and not break the bank.
And more than 1 million customers later, we still make every t-shirt with the same attention to detail as when we first started.
And what we've learned from selling so many t-shirts to people around the world is that while the perfect fit and feel are the starting point,
it all comes down to feeling confident and empowered to live each day fearlessly fresh.
unleash your confidence at freshcleanthreads.com.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland. So excited to share with you today our incredible Kathy Ireland Nutrition Supplement Powders by Amoxi. We have a beautiful array of powders to help you live a happier, healthier lifestyle. Our focus is on bringing families a nutritious option to complement your daily routine. With Collagen Plus, you'll see improvements in your hair, nails, joints, and bones, as well as skin elasticity and hydration. Immunity Support uses our proprietary green blends, antioxidant powder, and digestive support fiber to give your immune system a powerful boost. Golden Oat Milk is dairy-free and uses a recipe of turmeric and ginger, coconut milk, and our mushroom blend to give you more of an energy boost without the crash of coffee. And with Super Greens, we have a probiotic and digestive enzyme blend along with fruits, veggies, and 9 types of greens to help support healthy gut. Please experience the difference of Amoxi supplements. Let's get healthier together. Thank you.
Welcome back to a special edition of the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show. Look, we have a Will Stein sighting, and we are live in Nashville, Tennessee, where the Vikings just finished off the Tennessee Titans 23-13. Will, your thoughts of the game?
First of all, it's great to be back in front of the camera. I missed you guys. It's been a long road trip between Jacksonville and Alabama, and just coming back on the show to see the audience is great. It's been a heck of a game. When they scored that 98-yard touchdown, it made me nervous, but Sam had a good bounce-back game. Limited damage, still made some Viking fans nervous, but overall we got the win. We're 8-2, and let's go to Chicago. In
case you didn't know what Will's talking about, the Titans had a 98-yard touchdown to within 6 at the time. The Vikings last week, 12-7, had a real bad offense, was struggling, turnovers. They didn't turn the ball. They had 1 fumble and 1 that was called back. What do you think of Sam Darnold today?
He did enough not to lose the game. I want to see a little bit more out of him still, but he played a good game against a very good defense for the Tennessee Titans. I look forward to see him progress more against the Chicago Bears next week.
Okay. 8-2 now for the Vikings, and they head to Chicago, like Will said, next week. You never know, we might be there. But let's talk about that game today, a little bit more in depth here. Darnold, 2 touchdown passes, about 250 yards. There was one play, though, that he wished to have back on Jalen Naylor. Tell us about that, Will.
So that deep shot to Jalen Naylor had the ball in his hands. I thought it was going to be an easy touchdown to put us ahead 3 scores and wrap this game up, but we still did enough to win this football game, and it's only going to be a learning experience for both of those 2 guys as they develop more chemistry.
And the second half, Vikings basically had ball control. They really milked the clock and win 23-13. The late game-sealing interception by Harrison Smith. And we are in the post-game room, and here are thoughts from Kevin O'Connell and a few of the Vikings players.
I knew it was going to be a tough, hard-fought game, especially against their defensive side. I was proud of the way we kind of responded whenever it seemed like they did make a play. against our defense. Obviously, the big one over the top when they were backed up. That possession could have, really could have swung the whole game right there. But I was just proud of the way we played relatively clean. I know we had the early turnover, which was frustrating because those types of things can't happen. But I thought Sam Darnold played really well. I thought, to close it out with another turnover to break even in that department was really important. And then the turnover on downs, making it hard there in the second half. Thought we had some other opportunities to maybe put the game away, tried to stay aggressive and one down there to Speedy, but he'll make that play. Total confidence and trust in him. And now we've got to continue to build on another road challenge next week against a good Bears team that's going to be a tough place to go play.
Yeah, obviously, really exciting win. For us as an offense, early mistake with the fumble, but I felt like we bounced back really well with that. And I thought our defense, special teams played really well. And it was nice to be able to just kind of move the ball up and down the field, and kind of got stalled a little bit in the second half. But I feel like when we moved the ball and we were able to get into the red zone, we weren't turning the ball over. We were able to turn those into points. And, that was huge for us today. And, just really proud of the guys in the locker room.
This team's 8-2. How's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. Feels phenomenal. Didn't feel like this. 2 years ago, something like that. So it's definitely great to be on this side of things, and just like I said, we definitely have room to improve and things to do better on. So we're 8-2 right now is great, but going into these next few games and of course leading into playoffs, we got to change a little bit of things around.
Back to you, Dave.
Good stuff, guys, and it was great to see Will back in action in front of the camera. And speaking of in front of the camera, there have been many ESPN anchors over the 45 years of ESPN, and they all came together along with all of us other old-timers as ESPN celebrated 45 years of the worldwide leader in sports. Some of the greatest names came back. There was Chris Berman, there was Steve Levy, and there was, of course, George Grande, one of the original ESPN anchors who kicked off SportsCenter some 45 years ago.
Well, this is such an honor. I'm here with a living legend, and I guess it's better than not be living, right? But
he couldn't come, but I came anyway. It's good to be with you, Dave.
George Grande, one of the original ESPN. You kicked things off some 45 years ago. There's probably more people in this room than you had viewers that night.
There's no doubt about that. I run into people that tell me, "Oh, I saw that first show," and I say, "Yeah, sure." We didn't know whether we'd be on the air for 4 weeks, 4 months, or 40 years back then, but we knew we were involved into something special. A lot of great people, so many of them here. It's so great to be together with them. The memories, the moments, the friendships, the most unique situation ever in sports television, and we were all part of it.
It was like one little building. You guys weren't sure where the
glass on the windows, no doors that first night.
And you guys didn't even have highlights. You kind of just talked for 15 minutes about what you were going to do. You didn't have rights to anything. It was such an unknown. What was that like?
It was fun. We all cared about each other. We all knew that Chet Simmons told us, look, we don't have the NFL or Major League Baseball or whatever. Someday we will. And when we do, we're going to have something that ABC, NBC, and CBS don't have, and that's SportsCenter. So from that first moment, we knew that SportsCenter was going to be the linchpin of what we did. And now, look where ESPN is. It's amazing.
And you've come a lot farther than professional men's softball and Aussie rules football, right?
Yeah, but that was a live event. In fact, the funny part was we went on a Friday night. And to get someone, Bill Rasmussen wanted to have something live that we could throw to. Who the heck is going to do a football game back then on Friday night? Who was going to do a basketball? We had nobody. My brother ran the New England Pilgrims in New Haven, a slow-pitch softball team. And he said, well, we just want to get on anybody's air. So I hooked him up with Lou Palmer, who was working with Bill Rasmussen, and lo and behold, I get to do the first show. I had hoped that my brother's team would make it to the finals. They didn't. So it was the Kentucky Bourbons against the Milwaukee Schlitz. Something to remember.
And the rest is history. And that kid you worked with a month later, that little Berman kid, he didn't turn out too bad, huh?
No, we knew he was something special. Chris went to Brown. my brother and I had a radio station in Westerly, Rhode Island. He worked with us there, came to Connecticut, and we got Chris from Brown. We got Bob Lee from a cable system in New Jersey. We got Tom Mees from Delaware. We got people from everywhere, all kids, and we let them spread their wings and grow and learn and develop. If you did local TV, you did maybe 2 minutes of sports at 6 and 2 minutes at 11. At ESPN, you did probably 2 hours a night live. So you grew up pretty fast, and we're pretty proud of all those guys.
A little time with legendary George Grande. You going to make it for the 50th?
Amen. I hope so. To renew our friendships, it's worth coming back any year. Thanks, Dave. Pleasure being with you.
Thank you. Well, spent a little time with Steve Levy. And, Steve, you look at guys like George Grande and Chris Berman who set the tone for your career, and now there's younger guys after you, and you're like the elder statesman. I mean, how awesome is this?
It's unbelievable to be here. It's a great room to be in. It's weird to walk a room and know every single person, and then like you have to hesitate for a second. Wait, I know them. What's their name? It's coming to me. We're all older now. It doesn't come as quickly anymore, but it's great. The culture of the place has been great. The young people have always been the secret. It's always provided the energy, creativity, the new ideas to keep the lifeblood, to keep it going, and that's still true today.
And it's still great to see you on. I mean, you're having fun still? I mean, you pinch yourself that you're still doing this?
Yeah, I've been one of the lucky ones for sure. I recognize that. I'm still getting to do what I love to do. The hockey and the football, my two loves, is still after all these years. So, I tell you, I'm the luckiest guy in the business, maybe ever. And I'm not shy about saying that, and I'm just hoping my luck continues.
What is that one defining moment for you, for your career? Is there that Steve Levy home run or moment that you always look back at?
So the bulging disc thing was sort of my claim to fame, right? And that was, it started out as a negative, actually turned into a positive, which is really cool. And then I did those 3 really long hockey games, the longest ever televised. And that's not a skill or a talent. I just happened to be there that night. But then finally getting Monday night, that was sort of a thing. And now from here on, I'm good. You know what I mean? I've been blessed so many ways, and just happy to be in this room with all you guys.
Thank God there was no social media and all the craziness of your bulging disc back in the day, right?
Well, every time somebody does it now, they still go back to the first guy who did it, and it's always my clip, so I can't get away from it.
Steve, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, now Steve Levy is that older statesman, even though he started well after Berman and those guys. And I see Steve a lot. In fact, his son saw me speak in West Hartford, and his son went back and said, "Hey, I saw this great dude without legs." And Steve was like, "Well, that's just Dave Stevens." So it was great seeing Steve and everybody there. And I hope we all get to the 50th celebration of ESPN. And speaking of celebrations, I also had the opportunity last week to win the Denise DeCenzo Human Spirit Award. It was a great honor for me and my sons that got to be a part of that great night. And thanks to my son Tate, he captured a little of the moments from my acceptance speech.
Boy, after that introduction, you'd have thought God had come down here. So thank you very much, and it's nice to be up where you leggies normally stand. So I am so thankful for this opportunity tonight, and very humbled, being here. When I moved here in 1995 to start at ESPN, I started watching local TV, and that became one of my favorite channels to watch, Dennis and Denise, and not getting to know her, but getting to watch her and live vicariously through the stories that she told, and the impressionable stories that she told of inspiration and overcoming. And so thank you, Wayne, and thank you for the foundation for honoring me tonight. And it's weird because, when you start off in life, especially for me, strike one, I was born without legs. Strike two, put up for adoption. But I had a loving World War II veteran and a housewife that instilled in me that this was my normal. I grew up not knowing I had a disability. I didn't know that I was different than others until I started in So, God bless these organizations now that have adaptive sports and have all these kind of things, because I didn't have that. My only opportunity was to go out and make the team despite not having legs. And I didn't know any better, but I had coaches and people that believed in me. And all those people that worked hard with me, wrestling coaches that got down and tied their legs behind their bodies to understand what I needed to do, and baseball and football. There was no book for how to play sports for people without legs that are dummies. You know, they just didn't have that. So I had to just learn how to do that, and my parents instilled in me that I was normal. But the problem is society looks at us and they judge us by how we look. You don't know what that fortitude and the heart that those people have. And that's why I'm so proud that now that I've been able to overcome so much in life, that I've become an advocate for so many amazing organizations. I was brought into Easter Seals Capital Region, I'm so nervous right now, I can't even say it. But Capital Region in Eastern Connecticut has me on their board. I'm a part of Runway of Dreams, which is an amazing organization started by Mindy Shire for adaptive clothing for people with seen and unseen disabilities. You know, I get to be this advocate, this voice, and now thanks to Wayne and the organization, I've become a board member of the Denise DiCenzo Foundation. And what we are going to do, thank you. And people ask me, what have I done that is the most amazing thing in my life? Is it playing minor league baseball and pitch hitting for Darryl Strawberry, or playing college football, or doing all these amazing athletic endeavors? The most important and amazing thing in my life is sitting right there. It's my 3 sons. Because I was able to give them a normal life. You don't know the pressure, what it's like to have a disability as a parent and want to give your child that normal life. Because when we go around, people are staring, people are talking. I had to learn how to adapt. I had to learn, you know, how to get them out of the crib and how to do these different things. And they also had to learn with me. But I've got 3 beautiful boys. Stand up, guys. Those are my sons right there. They're 3 of the most wonderful people you ever meet. So that is my greatest accomplishment. So again, if you look at someone and you judge them just by what they look like on the outside, the problem with this country is we have feelings and emotions inside. The disability world is the biggest minority in the world, and we have the smallest voice. So it's important to keep Denise's legacy going and my own legacy going. I said I'm going to leave my legacy out there for people to see, and thanks to Wayne and this organization and people like Easter Seals and Runway of Dreams and the University of New Haven, who's brought me in to start a new ability media for kids with seen and unseen disabilities. So I can't thank you enough for this opportunity to just talk for a couple of minutes and let you see that, yes, if a guy without legs can do what I've done, what the hell is your excuse not to go out in life and achieve more? So, thank you very much.
Yeah, I got a little choked up and emotional. It was such a great night, and it was so awesome that my sons can be there. Thanks again to Wayne Cook and the Denise DiCenzo Foundation. They're doing great things and keeping the legacy alive of a wonderful woman. But that's going to do it here from the worldwide leader in Bristol. Of course, me here at home on the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show. Continue to follow us on all social media platforms. And again, we thank you for the love. Thank you for everybody watching us, listening to us, and make sure you tell people about what we do, because we enjoy doing it. All right. For Troy, for Will, and myself, that's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show. Follow us on social media. Watch us on yourhometv.com, or now we're on Roku. Download it and watch us. And thanks for tuning in. Until next time, America.